As always, we'd like to welcome you here into the VetSpecs demonstration room. My name is Casey, and today we're going to be discussing how to use the VetSpecs Capno-M miniaturized capnography monitor.
The VetSpecs Capno-M operates off the core methodology of mini-cap mainstream processing. As a limitation inherent to all mainstream capnography devices, regardless of make or model, the Capno-M should not be utilized in wet environments such as dentistry. For capnography solutions in dentistry, inquire about our products featuring microflow sidestream technology.
If the miniaturized VetSpecs Capno-M has been ordered for standalone independent use, it will come, of course, with the main Capno-M unit, 2 of the airway adapter inserts, the AC power adapter or charge cable, and of course a user's manual. If the Capno-M miniaturized capnography unit were ordered as an add-on for paired operation with either the VetSpecs flagship WM100 or compact WM10 multi-parameter system, a Bluetooth receiver key will also be included in your package. For detailed instructions on utilizing miniaturized Capno-M via Bluetooth connection with either the WM100 or WM10 wireless multi-parameter system, please see our separate supplemental training video. As for the physical characteristics of the miniaturized Capno-M, we of course have the display itself, the button control panel off here to the left, the main control button, or power button I should say, the port for charging, and this is the area that your audible speaker is inserted, and here this is where the airway adapter insert will be connected. As we take a look at the screen of the Capno-M, there are a few primary characteristics that we want to take a look at. Of course, we're going to see the end-tidal CO2 value here. Of course, the acronym just above the value. We're going to have the respiratory rate, again the acronym just above the rate itself. There is, of course, the capnograph, and there is the option, it's very small here on the screen, but there is the option of having the FI CO2 value. This feature can be turned on or off. Secondary screen features on the Capno-M include the lung icon. As you'll see here, the icon does blink blue and yellow as the patient inhales and exhales. We then have the battery life indicator here to the far right. Just to the left of the battery indicator will be the Bluetooth transmission indicator. If that antenna is blinking, that is indicating that the Capno-M is not physically paired with either the WM100 or WM10 platform. Further, just to the left of the antenna icon, there is a bell, and that is your visual indicator regarding the audible sound of the alarm for the Capno-M being turned on or off. There is also a 24-hour clock in the upper left-hand corner. There are also some additional screen features that are much less noticeable at first glance, and that includes, try to get close here, that includes off to the left of the values, you will have your high and low ranges for your visual indicator, just to let you know where those ranges are set. Those ranges are, of course, for the end-tidal value as well as the respiratory rate value. To power the Capno-M on, first, of course, identify the power button. Push and hold that power button until the screen comes up. A very short boot up process, and we are now powered on. Of course, to power the unit off, same situation, just push and hold the power button until you see the shutting down, and there you have it. The power button on the side of the Capno-M also serves an additional but very important second feature. If the Capno-M is powered on, Simply push the power button one time quickly to enter into the menu settings. Likewise, to escape the menu settings, push the power button again quickly to escape. The yes button in the upper left-hand corner serves a primary function when the Capno-M unit is not in the main menu option. That function is to change the orientation of the screen for optimal viewing. To change the screen, simply push and hold the yes button a few seconds, and the direction of the screen will then change. As a side note regarding the screen orientation, it's helpful to know that that function can be set so that it is manually adjusted or automatically adjusted based on the physical position of the Capno-M unit. The minus and silence alarm button serves actually two different purposes when not in the main menu option, or rather, when in normal operational mode. As mentioned earlier, all of the numerical values have high and low ranges which can be adjusted to the user's preference. If an alarm has been breached outside of acceptable ranges, the Capno-M will give an audible alarm tone. To silence that tone, simply push the silence alarm button quickly one time. You'll notice in the top right-hand corner, the small bell now has an X over it, indicating the alarm has been silenced. The second primary feature of the minus and silence alarm button is simply to allow you, the user, to change the screen so that the graph itself is removed, which in turn allows the numerical values to be larger. In order to do so, simply push and hold the minus button for a few seconds, and the screen will now change, again removing the graph. As for the final and third button, which we refer to as the plus and return button, it actually does not serve a function when the Capno-M is not in the main menu option. As for the secondary features of the three buttons on the Capno-M, we do need to go into the main menu option. And as you may recall, in order to do so, locate your main power button on the side, give it a quick push, and we are now in the main menu. Now that we are in the main menu, we have four choices to choose from: the CO2 settings, the time setting, new patient, and exit. Once the time has been set, there's really no need to go into that option any further. As for new patient and exit, these options really have very little value. Being in the main menu, we're able to go through these options by hitting the S button or scroll. As you scroll, you will see that the highlighted option is the option that you can enter into. At this point, to enter into the CO2 settings, which is highlighted in white, simply hit the plus button. Now that we're in the CO2 settings, the three buttons have their own separate capabilities. The S button again allows you to scroll through. The minus button allows you to adjust ranges in a negative direction. The plus button allows you to change values in a positive direction. Once all of the available parameters are set within the CO2 settings to the user's preference, simply escape back to the surgical screen by hitting the power button one quick time. It is important to note that when the Capno-M is prepared and shipped to the end user from VetSpecs, it does come to the user already preset with ranges and values acceptable for general small animal medicine. Any adjustments that are made are at the customer's discretion. The airway adapter insert on the Capno-M is a semi-consumable component. Over time, the anesthetic gas that travels through the airway adapter insert causes the plastic material to become brittle. Therefore, VetSpecs recommends removing the airway adapter at least once a month and inspecting the adapter for any cracks within the plastic. Most importantly, the lenses. The lenses on the airway adapter are very important, as this is the area that the light travels through the airway adapter for measuring the CO2. These lenses, although they are anti-moisture, they can collect residue or they can crack over time. If it is determined that an airway adapter needs to be replaced, simply pull that airway adapter out, discard it, take your new airway adapter and insert it. It is helpful to know that it does not matter the direction that the airway adapter is inserted. Once the new airway adapter has been inserted, it's important to zero out the Capno-M so that it can adjust to the new airway adapter. Zeroing the Capno-M is an easy process, actually just 3 simple steps. For this process, VetSpecs does supply the user with a handout explaining step-by-step how to do so. Ultimately, the VetSpecs Capno-M was designed to be super easy to use throughout daily operation. At the end of the day, the user just simply powers the unit on, hooks the Capno-M up between the patient's endotracheal tube and the anesthesia circuit, and the magic happens.